Hey everyone's Jackel Wolf coming at you with something different, something new on my channel. This is MC Eternal. It is a heavily modded Minecraft mod pack. It is a lot of fun. I've played around with it a little bit, and I think I want to do another 5 minutes. That's how I did it series on this particular mod pack. So I'm still going to be working on and off with the Sky Factory 4 mod pack, but I kind of want to branch into this one as well. It looks like a lot of fun. There's a lot of different things in here as well. To start, what I thought we would do is talk a little bit about the world generation, because there's a couple of different options in here that I haven't actually seen in any other mod pack, and they are, pretty cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to start a single player world. We're going to go create new world, very similar to what we've seen before. Let's call this MC Eternal EP01. Game mode survival, because that's how I like to do these. Even though I'm doing tutorials, I do like to do them in survival. More world options and preview. Now, this preview is really what we're going to focus on today. But before we do anything else, let's go to the more world options. Again, very similar. What we're going to do is look at the world type toggle here. So default, we've got super flat, not very useful if you're doing a survival world. Large biomes, which, is basically large biomes. Amplified, which is a really memory intensive one. Just for fun, it requires beefy computers. Customized, we're not going to worry about that. Biomes of Plenty is the recommended world type for MC Eternal. But there's also the Great Wall, which is kind of a cool, it's like a skyblock type map where you've got a wall of bedrock that kind of cuts you off from half of the world, which isn't that, big of a deal, but it is a skyblock type map. I am a big fan of those ones. There's also the compact sky where, basically your worlds are in, a small little cube, and you've got to build other, sort of cubes that exist in your world. It's kind of like the Russian stacking dolls. So that's a fun little thing to play as well. Realistic, which just gives a realistic world type as well. And then we're back down to the default. So we're gonna stick with the Biomes of Plenty, which, like I said before, is the recommended one. I have played around with a couple of the other ones. I may try to do the wall at some point in the future, but for now, Biomes of Plenty is our world type. Everything else is going to stay the same. What I want to do now is I want to hit this preview button. This is going to bring up a screen that's going to allow me to basically preview our world. So first off, I've got a little bit of a problem here. Window height is too small. Basically, that's saying it's not big enough to show me all the buttons. So there's this little button up at the top. You can't actually see it. But if I pop my face cam down below, you can see there is this lower scale. So if we press that, basically it makes our scale a little bit smaller. And you can see it is now disappeared completely. And we can see all of the buttons on here, which is absolutely perfect. And you know what I'm going to do for the moment? I'm going to get rid of my face cam completely here. So from here, what we can do is we can kind of take a preview of our world. Right now, it's showing a radius of 93 chunks. I think the default is 100. I was playing around with this a little bit earlier. This is an awful lot of chunks. It's like 40,000 chunks. So this is a radius, not a diameter, not a circumference. This is a radius. So what I'm going to do right away is I'm going to bump this down to, let's just go down to about 50. This is going to make a much smaller world. It's going to load up a little bit quicker. And I'm really only interested in what's going to be around me right this area. Terrain and post. Now, terrain is the way that is the actual blocks of the world. And then the post is sort of the post blocks that get added after the world is generated. So your trees, your structures, certain, physical elements that they all get added after the main world is, shown. So that's an option to sort of toggle between the terrain and the terrain in post. We can actually switch between the overworld, the nether, the end, the compact machines, limbo, private pockets, public pockets, dungeon pockets, the beneath, between lands, midnight, extra utilities, quarry dimension, NC wasteland, specter, Ratalantis, storage cell, twilight forest, and then we're back to the overworld. So you can go and check out a lot of these different things. I think it's only really important to show the one here for this one. Generation shape, square, or you can do a circle. I'm just going to keep it on a square. It is Minecraft. It is all about squares. So the start gen button is how we start the generation. And then we've got a couple of overlays down here. So these aren't going to make a lot of sense until we actually start generating. So we're going to hit start gen. And this is going to probably spin for a few seconds, and then it's going to start cutting in. As soon as it's ready, I'll be back. All right, so here is the initial 1,000 chunks loaded. Looks like, this is going to be right around where we spawn. Already, it looks like there is some structures in here, which is going to be really, really cool. That looks like a pirate ship. We got a coal tag. Yeah, there's like a castle there. I think this might be a floating island, one of those slime islands. So there are quite a few different structures here. One other thing you can do is if it's taken too long, or if you think you've seen enough of the world, you can hit stop gen. It's just going to pause it exactly where it's at. It will take a second again because I'm running too many things on my computer right now. All right, so here's what's been preloaded already, sort of pre-generated, so we can kind of peruse through it. There are a couple of different overlays down here. The map view, so right now it's defaulted to block colors. We could talk about foliage colors, we could talk about grass colors, and then block colors. Block colors is probably the most useful, or at least the most decorative looking. Slime chunks, you can bring those upon here. See, whereabouts you might find a slime chunk. And then also you can turn the structures on and off. Now this is only a certain vanilla structures. I don't believe it affects any of the modded structures, because like I said, there's already a couple of buildings down here, but it will, if there's like a village or a temple or something like that, it will sort of highlight it in a similar color like it does with the slime chunks. So we've kind of got an idea where we're at. We got some ocean, we got some snow biome over there. We've got a couple of structures right around where we're likely to spawn. So this is a good map. This would be handy if you spawn up and you're in the middle of the ocean, there's nothing around you. You're like, well, I don't want to do that one. Let's just reset. It does take an awful lot of work to get to that point. It might be just easier to move in, but this is a nifty little tool. I kind of like it. It is interesting to see what things are going to be like, before you get in. So to keep this world, if we're happy with this, what we're going to want to do is we want to hit that keep world. If we're not happy with this, we just want to do a regular, random respawn. We can go back and, reset all of our stuff. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to go keep world. Are you sure your world is ready to keep? We're going to hit continue. And it brings it back to our select world. Here it is, MC Eternal Episode 1. We're just going to click that, and it's going to bring us right into our world, which is going to be absolutely perfect. Okay, here you go. We are now in our world. There is that flying. Oh boy, it's getting a little bit of lag. I'm going to have to restart this with a little bit more memory. But we've got that flying slime chunk over there. There's that building we saw on the map. We've got probably some oceans off to the side. You can kind of see them over there. Yeah, this looks pretty much exactly like it did. You take a look at the top map over there. This looks, pretty much exactly like we were seeing. There's actually a little tower over there as well. That is really, really cool. But you know what? That's going to be it for this one, guys. This was World Generation on MC Eternal, and I am still getting an awful lot of lag here. So I am definitely going to go and do a restart before I do any more videos on this. But if you enjoyed this video, please think about leaving a like and a subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter. Twitter at Jackel Wolf. Also, check out the description below. There will be a link to my Discord page. I would love it if you guys stop by to say hi. As well, there will be a link to my Patreon page. And if you enjoy this channel, if you enjoy this content and you want to support, stop by, check it out. There are a lot of great perks out there for all of my supporters. But that is it. I'll see you guys next time. Good.